Well, good afternoon and welcome to Virginia James Wellness. A warm welcome to you. This is our video, our weekly video on alignment for the mind, body, spirit, and home. I hope everybody's doing well. My name is Libby. Today is Thursday, June 18th, 2026, and each week on Thursday, we explore the astrological energies of the week ahead, and we look at practical ways we can lean into and work with the energies for greater clarity, greater balance, and greater alignment towards our highest selves. So, true wellness, because this is Virginia James Wellness, but true wellness goes far beyond our physical health, as you well know. True wellness, I believe, is the alignment of the mind, the body, the spirit, emotions, relationships, purpose, and our home. And when all of those are in alignment, it feels good. It might not be perfect, but the goal is not necessarily to be perfect. The goal is not necessarily achievement, even. Often the goal is alignment. So we want to work with these life's energies that are astrologically around us and affecting us rather than against them. So I want to go ahead and take this quiet moment to invite in guidance, spirit, and insight, and wisdom for the week ahead. And then we're going to pull 3 cards so that we can see what themes and lessons or invitations or area of focus that Spirit may be highlighting for us today. So let's take a look and see what cards emerge. So first we have the card of Judgment. That's our first card for today. Then we have the card of the Page of Cups is our second card out today. And then we have the card, let's see if I can get these cards out of my hands going here, of the Tower. And then we have bottom of our deck. Here I am, the Fool, at the bottom of the deck. Sorry, we've got a little fruit fly or something in here flying around. So let's take a look at some of these cards, the ones that emerge. So we have, like I said, the Judgment, followed by the Page of Cups, followed by the the Tower, and then Fool on the bottom of the deck. So sitting down and looking at these energies that emerge. Alignment through our awakening. Alignment through our favorite, right? Our awakening. So let's take a look. Judgment. So Judgment asks us to notice what's being called to our attention, what keeps boomeranging back to us. What truth do we already kind of maybe know, or maybe not know yet? Or maybe we've already heard, but not fully answered yet, or not maybe fully realized or recognized yet. What area of our lives is asking for greater alignment and attention? And then we have that Page of Cups card, and it's encouraging us, to remain open our heart space, be curious, be receptive, flow and receive. Rather than forcing the answers, it invites us really to open up, to listen, to pay attention, to stay open to things that are new insights for us, new possibilities, perhaps even a new way of viewing or seeing ourselves, maybe a way that we had not thought of before. And then our favorite that always shouldn't, but it does give us a little pause or anxiety, this tower. It often causes me concern. But a lot of times, if you put it in context with your current life situation or energies that are around you, it's less like destruction. And a lot of times it's more like realization or revelation, or something that we did know but we hadn't fully understood yet, or fully recognized the wholeness of it yet. It might be something that's no longer aligned with us. It might be something that we're ready to shift. So it could be, an old belief that we have, a pattern, a way that we feel obligated, fear that's holding us back, an identity that once supported us in moving forward, or served us in some way, or protected our ego in some way. I mean, it could go on and on, but it may not be supporting any longer the person we are now, or the person that we are becoming and opening our hearts to. Now, beneath it all sits, I always say this is me because I feel like this a lot, the Fool. Here we are beneath it all, beneath the deck. So to me, the Fool always reminds us, it's really not the end. It's a new beginning. I like the Fool card. Life is inviting us to something new, a new chapter, a new way of being, a new perspective, new enlightenment, new courage, but ultimately a new beginning. So I always look at the sidereal Vedic astrology energy, the energy that it produces. Now, talk about bottom of the deck, Fool. As I said, I don't pretend to know, I can't even pronounce half of those nakshatras, but true enough, I'm very interested in it, so I do enjoy that part of it. So in looking at the energies that go along with the week, today through next Thursday, there's a similar progression that is unfolding. And sometimes when I was making the day-to-day videos, each day, a lot of the time the energy is the same as yesterday and the day before. Sometimes you go a whole week and the energies change so subtly, there's not a lot else to say. And then sometimes you go through weeks where you've got a little bit more of a choppy energy, different types of energies that show up through the week. And this week is a little more like that. So as I looked, the beginning of the week feels very, and I'm using Thursday, meaning today, as our week's beginning, because that's where I start our time together, is Thursdays. But it feels a lot more reflective and nourishing. We may find ourselves pondering questions, asking deeper questions about what is truly supporting us, and also what might be quietly draining us. This is a beautiful time for all of us to notice where our energy is going and whether that investment of energy is creating greater alignment or not. Now then we get to the middle of the week, so through the weekend on into Monday, Tuesday, and it feels a lot more, the energy feels a lot more expressive and relational. And as I said, these nakshatras, I don't, at one point we enter a Aslesha, and then we go out of that one and we go into another one I can't pronounce. You can feel free to look all of that up if you would like to. But I like to know less about the names. Maybe I'll learn that later. But for now, I'm a beginner. And what I enjoy is learning how to lean into the energy. So I'm a little more there. So, like I said, that middle of the week, expressive and relational. So as we're moving towards the weekend, Monday, Tuesday, more expressive and relational. Conversations, our creativity, our connections, our self-expressions, they may become more important in some way. We may feel called to share more about ourselves, to trust ourselves more, our intuitive senses, that is, and allow ourselves to be seen in more authentic ways, where we can be a little more vulnerable in that way because it is our authentic self. Now, by the week's end, heading in, towards Thursday, Friday, the energy feels a lot more decisive. What began as awareness to us, so awareness to us, may become more aligned with some action, okay? What was revealed may require us to make some sort of choice on our behalf for our highest good. We may feel called to make one meaningful step toward greater alignment, rather than continuing to carry something that clearly no longer fits us, not our current situation, our current state of being, our current relationship, however that resonates for you. So when I look at all these cards and the energy of the week kind of all together, it keeps returning basically to one message. You can do everything right, everything all correct, and still not be aligned. So an example of that might be, I am running a half marathons. I am going to the gym. My body is in tip-top shape. I'm feeding it clean food as fuel, and physically I am 2 thumbs up, okay? But I could be an emotional wreck, and my marriage could really be taking a toll on me. That's an example. I've been there. That tower is long since passed, thankfully. But I've been right there and could not figure out, as healthy as I was, why I was not well. And what I didn't know then that I do understand now, I can do everything right physically and still not be in alignment. And alignment is wellness. And absolutely, physicality and taking care of your physical body, your physical temple, so important, so healthy. I mean, it can't be denied. If you can't do anything else, certainly you can take care of your own body. But this week invites us very gently to examine where our lives are in need of adjustment. Not because we're failing, not because we're doing anything wrong. Because remember, alignment isn't perfection. Alignment is honesty and truth. Truth. I have realized since the pandemic, as we've moved to this national forest and we're building a cabin and I sold out in Augusta, there are things that I have realized as my truth that I didn't really recognize before. And it was a tower. Though it's not bad, my intuition told me that this could have some potential bumps in the road. And though it still has not, it's boomeranging back to me. And so I know it's honesty. I know it is a truth that is speaking to me about my alignment. So alignment is recognizing what nourishes us, what diminishes us, or even, Tower, what has the potential to diminish us. Just because it hasn't, it might have potential to. So alignment is allowing ourselves to become more fully who we were created to be. So now before we close, I asked Spirit for one final card. Okay, and that's going to finish up this week's message for us. Okay, and that card is the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups. Or so I thought. When I look more closely here, I realized we have a second card stuck underneath that Nine of Cups. The Knight of Cups. So we have the Nine of Cups and the Knight of Cups. So we have both. This one came out first. That was my intentional one. So sorry about this mirror reverse that I wanted to show you. Okay. It was attached this entire time. That feels a little meaningful. All right, so traditionally, the Nine of Cups associated with, there we go, fulfillment, contentment, satisfaction, gratitude, emotional satisfaction. But I feel now there's a little bit deeper meaning. It doesn't mean achievement. It doesn't mean checking every box correctly. It doesn't even mean you're doing everything correctly. True fulfillment, actually, is when our outer selves reflect our inner selves. It means when our outer self, what you see, aligns with your inner self. That's actually emotional fulfillment, true fulfillment. Now, the Knight of Cups is going to add a little extra layer to that message. It's the seeker. You see it? The seeker, the dreamer, willing to follow his heart, follow the call. Now, he might remind us that rarely does fulfillment arrive with force, which we've already talked about before. So not necessarily forcing it, but arriving in your truth as is. It arrives because we're willing to listen. We're willing to listen to that inner part of ourselves. We're willing to trust. We're willing to follow what feels meaningful, follow our truth, follow our heart. So together, this is much more beautiful. It's a reminder fulfillment is not what we achieve, it's what we move toward. Okay, one aligned choice at a time to become more aligned with who we are. To notice what is calling our attention, what is calling to us for our attention. It's subtle, it's in the background, but it's, if we get quiet enough, what's calling us back to attention. We want to be open to new insight, learning to listen to that quiet inner self, and then, of course, releasing what is no longer in alignment what is no longer for our highest good, and to trust that what awaits on the other side is not exactly loss. It's hopefully greater fulfillment, our Nine of Cups. Now, like I said, Nine of Cups reminds us that alignment itself is a form of abundance. There can be many forms of abundance, but when our Nine of Cups arrives, that is abundance. And, of course, the Knight reminds us to follow that quiet call. What is our heart moving toward? And we need to move toward what our heart is telling us. So, the invitation this week is to nourish what is true. Release what is not true for you. Get quiet and still in your mind, and then follow the things that are meaningful to you. Not to your situation and everyone in it. You. When you're in alignment, things flow. Trust that life is guiding you and me toward greater alignment, greater peace, greater focus, greater fulfillment than you can currently see. And sometimes we don't see everything. That Two of Swords, blindfolded. We don't always see clearly. So sitting with these energies from astrology, sitting with these cards that I've asked Spirit about for the week ahead, it's really an extraordinarily coherent message. So, the Page of Cups here reminds us to remain open. Keep your heart open. The Tower. Release what is not in alignment or is no longer serving your highest good. Just release it. It's not aligned with the new you or the you currently that's moving forward in life. And as I said, my favorite, the Fool. Beginning again, starting over. I love the Fool. I don't know why. Yeah. And the Knight of Cups. Whoop, there we are. Follow your heart. What is your heart telling you? Where is it guiding you? And then, of course, the Nine of Cups. Fulfillment. It can only be possible when we're living our truth. Our lives begin to reflect our inner truth. It's an extraordinarily coherent and aligned message. And perhaps worth maybe thinking over this week a little bit. So, if you want to ponder over it, here's some things in your life. What are you awakening to? What am I awakening to? I've had my awakening. Ponder over how you're going to remain open. Your Page of Cups. You're releasing what no longer serves you. And sometimes this is more uncomfortable than others, but sometimes it's just an absolute realization. It's something you already kind of knew under the surface anyway. At least that's what mine was, or is, this time. We'll have many towers together. Trust in your new beginning, because it's your new beginning. Trust in it. Lean into it. Follow your heart. Let it move towards your greater good. Let it move there. Let it be, and let it move there. So let's finish with a bit of an affirmation. I love affirmations. I hope this one resonates with you. I trust what is being revealed. I'm going to remain open to new insight. And what no longer serves me that's being revealed. I release what no longer supports my highest good. I follow the quiet wisdom of my heart, and I move toward greater alignment, greater peace, greater fulfillment each day. So those small intentional choices that we make towards our highest good, they matter, and they bring us peace. You don't have to figure everything out today. Just lean into the energies that are being provided to you, to us, to all of us in the universe. Well, I thank you for spending time with me today, if you decided to do that. I hope your week is really happy and fulfilled. And I hope that realizations that occur to you and to me and to us are helpful and beneficial and for our good. I wish you the very best in your alignment this week. And I will see you next Thursday. Take care.